Hey, what's up guys, Wavy Films here, and today I have part 2 of my Avengers Infinity War showcase. So, if you've seen part 1, I did all the space characters, so the Guardians of the Galaxy, Iron Man, Thor, all of them. And then in this video I'll be doing the Earth characters, the characters that seem like they're going to be in Wakanda for the majority of the film. So we have, Captain America, Black Widow, Black Panther, all the Wakandan characters, plus Rhodey, the Hulk, Bruce Banner, and some other characters. So yeah. Just like the other one, I want to get this done quick because I do have quite a bit of figures to showcase. Not as many as the last showcase, I will admit. That one just had a bit more, but in total there are 40 figures. Actually, I think 39. In total, there are 39 figures, and yeah, it was almost just split down the middle between the two. I'm so excited to go see the film tonight, and yeah, let's just get into it. Alright guys, and the first figure is Nomad, and yes, he is officially Nomad. The Russo brothers posted a thing up on their Instagram a while ago and said he was Nomad, and I'm kind of happy about that because he's definitely not Captain America. But finally we have Nomad, Steve Rogers, and yeah, I'm actually really happy with how this figure turned out. I did update him a bit from the last time I saw him, so I will be going over that quickly. And the biggest update, obviously, is the torso, which was sculpted by my friend McLovin, Chris. I'll leave a link to his stuff down in the description. So I won his Infinity War contest, and the prize was his Nomad Captain America sculpt. So he sent that out to me, and I got it, thankfully, before Infinity War came out. Thankfully, but I mean, I got it a couple weeks ago. It's not like I just got it and painted it up quickly, but I'm really happy with how it looks and how it turns out, and it makes the figure look a bit bulkier, and I just really like it. The arms don't really attach in like normal, and this one kept falling out, so I had to just put some sticky tack on it, but it's all good. The rest of it you've seen. The hair was sculpted by my friend Jared Figs. Jared, I'll leave a link to his stuff down in the description as well. I sculpted the beard and the head, and I'm really happy with how the likeness I got to Chris Evans on this head. The shields were made out of normal Captain America shields, the red ones cut into diamond shapes, sanded down and painted black and silver, and the legs were just some simple painted detail. That's it for Nomad, and I mean, if he dies, I won't be disappointed, but I definitely won't be happy. Alright guys, the next figure is Falcon. You have seen him, so I'll just go over it quickly. I painted the torso onto a gunmetal torso, and it works way better than the official Lego one. Legs completely painted, head, original Falcon head, painted the hairpiece on top, put some sealant on it. And yeah, the arms were quickly painted with an E-tape for his strap on this arm. This is based off a Civil War costume, and he does actually have a slightly different costume in Infinity War, and I just didn't notice that until recently. So I prefer a Civil War costume anyway, so I decided to just keep that. And the only thing on this figure, or I guess my favorite thing on this figure, is the wings, which are really special, and they attach via a magnet onto the back. There's a magnet embedded in the jetpack here, which is just sculpted, and I paint all the details onto. I know it's round and it's not supposed to be, but that's just so the magnet could fit inside. It attaches like that. The wings are also posable because they're connected on ball joints, so I can just pose them however I want. This one tends to fall out, but that's fine. I can pose them up like this as well. So yeah, that's it for Falcon. It does annoy me when they are uneven, but that is Falcon. I hope you guys like it, and I'm really happy with how the magnet feature turned out. Alright guys, and the next figure is Hawkeye. I know we haven't seen any images of him in the promotional footage. However, they said that he is in it. He's credited on the poster and everything. Plus, the Russo brothers said there's actually a reason why he's been absent, and that he is very prominent in the film. So I went ahead and made him in his Civil War suit. I know that there's rumors he might become Ronin, and in the Avengers 4 set picture, he had a black and gold costume on. However, in that was for Avengers 4, so maybe he doesn't don that costume till Avengers 4, maybe the post-credit scene of Avengers Infinity War, I don't know. I still made him in a Civil War costume, and this was one of the quickest figures I've ever made. I made him in a couple of hours, and despite that, I'm actually really happy with how it turned out. I really did not like my first version of Hawkeye for Civil War, and I don't know if I showcased him yet, so I'll just go over him a bit more. So this was a sleepy hairpiece, which I chopped off the sides, sanded them down, and put a bit of stubble onto the actual hair. The head was using a Legolas head, of course. That's the only thing I use for heads, and I'm really happy with how the likeness I got to Jeremy Renner. The bow is brick arms, as well as brick forge, as well as the arrow. And the torso, I used E-tape straps for the quiver, E-tape straps for the legs, cut up Procreate for his gun holster and his knife holster, and the quiver is actually from my old Hawkeye figure, which is a piece of rolled up computer paper with the regular Lego quiver glued on top and sculpted on the bottom, which I think I took from one of MGF's videos when he was explaining how he made those. Pretty simple figure, but I'm really happy with how it turned out, and I really hope that he shows up in Infinity War. Next up is Scott Lang. Now, I know that also Ant-Man hasn't showed up in a lot of promotional images or materials. However, there was some Avengers Infinity War set pictures a long time ago when they first started filming, and Paul Rudd was on set. So, I didn't actually make this figure. This figure was made by my friend Daring.jpg, or Daring Customs as he used to be known. I'll leave a link to all his stuff down in the description. I love this figure so much. I love the likeness that he got to Paul Rudd. I have showed this figure before, but I'm just going over it quickly. So yeah, he might be in Infinity War. I don't think he'll suit up as Ant-Man, but I do think we'll get a Scott Lang cameo. And next we have Scarlet Witch. This is actually one of my favorite Infinity War figures. I want to give a huge shout out to Benson Bone on Instagram. I really enjoyed how his looked, his Scarlet Witch for Infinity War looked, and I used a lot of those designs on my figure. I just really liked how it turned out. So, get these magic pieces out of the way. I just took those off of Doctor Strange. The hairpiece was just the normal Scarlet Witch hairpiece, which I painted in a lighter brown and faded it into tan, since she does have a lighter hair color in this film. I did sculpt on the breast, and I used fabric to glue around the torso for her jacket as a 3D jacket. It doesn't come off, it's glued onto the torso, but I'm really happy with how it looks, and I'm really happy with how all the designs on the jacket came out, and I'm really happy with just how this figure in general turned out and how accurate it was compared to my last figure, which I really was not happy with. So that's it for Scarlet Witch, and now we'll move on to the Vision. Alright guys, the next figure is Vision. Again, showed him before, just used the official figure and added some additional details to the side and back of the legs, as well as the sides of the, to the arms. And I did paint over most of the pink with dark red because that's a bit more accurate. I do really like the design on the official figure, and I know it's a bit inaccurate, but I'm just really happy with how this figure turned out, and I think it just looks good, despite being inaccurate, so I like it. I did continue the printing all the way around the head, and I did actually have to repaint the back of the head since it was inaccurate the first time. Not a huge fan of the cape. I just kind of made up this quick design, and I might revisit it in the future, but it's not that good. So yeah, Vision, Mind Stone, probably gonna die. Next figure is King T'Challa. Again, a simple one, and I've showed him before, so it's really just fabric glued onto a black torso and black legs and black arms, which, simple as hell. The head was the Chiwetel Ejiofor head from the from the Doctor Strange set, the Mordo head. His name's Chiwetel Ejiofor, if you didn't know that. Pretty fun name. And it looked more like, in my opinion, Chadwick Boseman than Chiwetel Ejiofor. And then I erased the mouth and repainted that because I really like the way the eyes were, and it just works. If you wanted to make a Pierce one, I would definitely recommend using that head, but his beard on that face was stubble, and he has more of a complete beard in Black Panther and Infinity War, so I did that. Now, this figure is not a custom, it's just the Shuri official figure, but I do display her with my Infinity War figures because it's actually perfect. I did not need to paint anything for this figure. I think the head is perfect, the hair, the torso, the gauntlets. I think everything's perfect on this figure, so why update it? So yeah, I'm just really happy with how this figure looks in general for the official one, and it looks cool with T'Challa sitting next to her, and Shuri's pretty awesome, so she's going to kick some ass in Infinity War. Next we have the Black Panther himself in his regular costume. I made this before Black Panther, so I did showcase it in a Black Panther showcase as well as an Infinity War showcase. And yeah, I mean, I like how it turned out. It's pretty cool. I like that I did the purple lines instead of just leaving it black, because it kind of just looked plain like that, and I didn't really like it. And yeah, it seems like in Infinity War, though, he's going to not have the lenses in, and I didn't paint that additional head, which I might in the future. But yeah, it seems like in a lot of the scenes he's not going to have the lenses in. In Black Panther, he only didn't have them in for the first car chase scene with Claw, and honestly, I like the look with the lenses, so I might just leave it like this. Next is my favorite character from Black Panther. I also showed him in a Infinity War and Black Panther showcase, I believe, is M'Baku. He's just really awesome. I used a synthetic fur cape from Cape Madness for his fur on his legs and arms, and for his actual cape. The design is actually simplistic from what his actual design looks like. One of the things I'm really happy with was how the skirt turned out, because he's wearing like a grass skirt, and It's kind of hard to do that, so I dry brushed some different tans, browns, and blacks, and it kind of gave this straw effect, which I'm really happy with. And then I just sculpted that and did some wood grain effect for his wooden chest armor. And I know it's, like I said, a bit inaccurate, and there's a lot more detail in the arms that you can't really see, but I just wanted to go more for the fur and made a quick figure of my favorite character from Black Panther, and I'm really happy with how he turned out. And I like how it goes back like this because it looks cool. Next is a Okoye. This is one that I didn't actually plan on making, but after a lot of people asked me to, I ended up just upgrading LEGO's official figure by adding some simple details. The head I left as is, and I didn't want to paint the tattoos on top of the head because I don't really like the design. I did continue the kind of chest thing, I don't know what to call it, down, and I just glued a piece of card onto the waist and continued the cross-hatching pattern. I painted some simple pinstripes on her legs and glued a fabric piece around her torso, and then I just did some simple arms with some gold and metallic silver and such details with also her shoulder pads. And yeah, I think Okoye looks pretty cool, and yeah, she's gonna be cool in Infinity War, I guess. I don't know, I wasn't a huge fan of her character in Black Panther. Alright, and getting back to Team Cap, we have the White Wolf, Bucky Barnes himself. I have shown this figure before, so I'll go over it quickly. I want to give a shout out to Chris, again, McLovin, because he did actually use the Bucky hair first. And yeah, I'm really happy with how this figure turned out. A simple torso design. I used E-tape for his little leather straps there. I used E-tape for his leg straps and boot cuffs as well. My favorite part of this figure has got to be the face and the arm. The arm is a bit inaccurate because I did use the Winter Soldier design, and the design for his new arm in Infinity War, the lines on it are a bit different, but I think this design works well, better translated to Lego, because the other one like forms around his muscles and stuff, and if you're not sculpting muscles, I think that's going to look really weird. But I think it works this design works just fine for Lego. And then this arm, I just put a little patch with E-tape. And yeah, that's White Wolf Bucky Barnes, and I don't know, I really enjoy his costume in Infinity War. I think he looks really cool. Next is Black Widow. I've shown this figure multiple times, and I keep updating it, and I think I'm finally gonna stick with this hairpiece and headpiece. I know I was gonna use the official one for a while, but I think this looks 10 times better, so I used the Padme head, or the Hermione head I think it was used for originally, and I just took the official Black Widow hairpiece, sanded down the points that go out on the sides, and painted it in kind of like a tan blonde color, which I think works better. I do think this head looks good for Scarlett Johansson, but I didn't think the hairpiece originally really worked, and using this new hairpiece, I think it works good. And then also, I'm not sure if I said this, I updated the vest to green, because in some shots it looks like green, in some shots it looks black and gray, and I don't know, maybe it's lighting, but I'm sticking with green, and yeah. Really getting down to the end here, we have War Machine Mark 4, 5, I don't know, one of the two. I'm really happy with how this figure turned out, actually. I think it's Mark 4. I use a Clone Army Customs torso because I do think that Rhodey's armor is supposed to be a bit thicker than Iron Man still, so I ended up using this. I sculpted over the arc reactor and painted on his new one. He does have a camo design all around the character, but I ended up taking a design point from the Cos Babies, which is like kind of like Funko Pops but from Hot Toys, so they're like little posable figures. And while he does have the camo all on his torso, I ended up only painting it in specific spots, like on the Cos Babies. So as you can see, it's all over the chest but not actually connected, and on the shoulder pads, and also on the helmet a bit. If it were to focus, it is like on the helmet in specific sections, especially on the top and sides, and I think that works better. It's not on the legs or arms, and I think that works because if I were to paint complete camo everywhere, it would get a little cluttered and uneasy. I think I do have the gun on the wrong side because some promotional images is on the left, it's on the right, and I ended up keeping it on the right, and I might not be accurate, but in a lot of the trailers she doesn't even have it, so I think it can move side to side, so I guess it doesn't really matter. And underneath, I just broke it off. Well, you know what, I don't care. Underneath I do have the official Rhodey head, the original one, the good one, and it looks pretty cool, so yeah. That's what he looks like without the gun, I guess. I wasn't expecting that, and I'm really pressed for time, so that's War Machine. I also did make a quick just roads. I just painted up a simple arm and torso design, and the legs are from my Civil War machine, which I don't care about that figure, and I know they're inaccurate, but this was a quick figure, and I just think it looks cool, and the hairpiece is actually ripped off to Chala, so we don't talk about that, but yeah, I just want to make a quick Rhodes figure himself. Now we have the other big fig of the Infinity War Hulk. Yeah, it's a simple AOU Hulk figure. I just painted over the pants with some matte black and then did some rips and tears and everything. And it's pretty simple, except that using my friend Chris, again, McLovin's design, I did ask him about this. The arms are actually ball-jointed posable magnets. So they do deattach like this, and they're actually strong enough to just attach to each other through the torso. So I can pose the arms up like this, up like this. The paint does scratch off a bit on the inside. I think I did showcase this figure, but I really like how it turned out, and I want to give a huge thanks to Chris for letting me use his design. But they do sit normal, so if you want them to just look like a normal big fig, that works as well. And yeah, Hulk. Now, we did show the Tony Stark head in this space showcase, but the figure himself, it looks like he's only going to look like this when he's on Earth, so I decided to just put it in the Earth showcase. First things first, I did make the flip phone that Steve gives him at the end of Civil War that it looks like he's talking on in one of the trailers. So it's just painted metallic blue with a metallic white screen, gunmetal case, and gunmetal on the back. The figure itself was actually pretty simple. The head and hair are painted by my friend Shane DeLast Prime. I'll leave a link to his stuff down in the description. I'm really happy with how that turned out. I did sculpt the arc reactor on his chest, and while it does look like he's wearing his sweater most of the time, I wanted to have the arc reactor exposed, so I just painted his shirt, and I used a bit of a fabric thing to show his sweater that's tied around his waist. So yeah, that's Tony Stark. Also, just wanted to show off this Peter Parker figure. It's basically from Homecoming, because that's where I based his outfit off of. He does have a new outfit in Infinity War, but I didn't make a new figure because this one works, and you've seen it before, and yeah, I'm really happy with the likeness on this figure, but Tom Holland, Peter Parker. And lastly, we have Bruce Banner. Again, you guys have seen him before. I'm really happy with the likeness. I didn't like the original Bruce Banner head, but after adding some lines and some stubble, I think it works great for Bruce Banner. And so does the sanded down fin hairpiece. And then it's just a simple 3D jacket and simple torso and leg design. And that's the last figure, so now we'll go wrap up this showcase. Alright guys, and that was the last figure, but here I have the Hulkbuster Build, and if it seemed like I was wrapping up the showcase in the last segment, that's probably just because I wasn't sure if this was going to come in on time, so just in case, I wanted to have that as the final showcase, but now that it did come in time, just forget what I said. This is the last segment of the video. So I want to give a huge thanks to my friend PCM.exe, Pre-Made Custom Minifigures Matthew. I'll leave a link to his Instagram, Flickr, Twitter, everything down in the description, because this is just awesome. He built this entire Hulkbuster. I sent him the Age of Ultron Hulkbuster. He took the pieces from that, rebuilt them, ordered some new pieces, built them, sent it back. I switched out the dome piece for the new Infinity War one, and I ended up painting the details on the thighs, the chest, and the stomach area, and I just love how it turned out, and I don't want to, there we go. So, yeah, if I move the camera forward just a tad, we can zoom out a bit and then bring it forward. So it has a bunch of articulation, it moves, it's really cool to pose, it's awesome. So first of all, yes, a minifigure does sit inside. Just fold the dome up and fold the chest piece down, and then I'll take my figure, which I have here, is Bruce Banner, just because it looks more like he's going to be in it than Tony. Literally every single toy and promotional material says so. So then we can just put this back up and then put that back over, and he sits inside. You can see him through the back, but other than that, it's pretty enclosed. So yeah, for the points of articulation, there's the shoulder here. Then he has an elbow joint. He also has a wrist joint, which I honestly didn't even notice until a little bit. And then he also has articulated fingers and a thumb, and that's on both arms. And then on the he can twist his waist here. he can twist around his hip joint, and then the knee doesn't bend that much. It doesn't bend that much back and forward, but it does twist like that. So yeah, that's it for the Hulkbuster, and I also do want to show that he did actually fit a bunch of detail onto the back, unlike the Lego figure where it's just kind of like studs on the back. He did actually fit detail with like these grill pieces and these gold pieces down here, and also the back, which I thought was amazing. And yeah, I'm actually super happy with this build. Super happy he got in on time too, so we can be part of the final showcase. And yeah, that's the Hulkbuster Mark II. And like I said, I'm just in love with it. And I hope you guys like it as much as I do. And let's wrap up this video. Alright guys, and that's going to be it for part 2 of the Infinity War showcase. I hope you guys enjoyed every single figure of both of these showcases. I really hope you guys enjoy the film as well. We've been waiting 4 years for this, and tonight's finally the night that it comes out. So yeah, I mean, after 4 years of waiting, 8 months of on and off work on all of these figures. I started before Brick Fair last year when I made Thanos and the Iron Spider, and yeah, it's been a long time coming for this. So I hope you guys enjoy the film, enjoy the figures, enjoy the video, and make sure to not leave any spoilers in the comments. I want everyone to go into it spoiler free and just super excited to see the film. As of recording this, I haven't been spoiled, and I mean, that's good. Last year I got spoiled for all 3 Marvel films, which kind of pissed me off. But yeah, so anyways guys, I'm just going to leave it at that. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to check out social media where I get around to posting these figures way before I get around to posting them on YouTube. I've been posting these guys, like I said, for the last 8 months. So this video is just kind of like a final culmination of all of them. I wish I could have put them into one showcase, but I really couldn't. But that's going to be it for today. So yeah, be sure to like the video if you like the video, and be sure to subscribe if you haven't yet. And that's gonna be it, guys. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.